or a percentage of my clients are families that they found solutions and senior living or senior care options by themselves by using Google search engines or other online methods. Also, somebody else recommended, certain assisted living to them because those people, they had a good experience with their loved one. And that's totally okay, but there is the senior living and senior care industry. It's a huge industry. It is very difficult to navigate. There is a lot of information. In many cases, the families that are start looking into it, or the individuals, basically they're facing a unknown world to them. And it's like anything else, that it's huge and you're just starting to learn about it. You're in the very beginning stages, and while you learn, while you go to the learning process, you find one thing or another, you find out one thing or another about it. But there is a lot more that you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So um, those families, they did the searches on their own. They went and they looked at very good looking, pretty glossy looking websites. They contacted those places. They went to visit. They met a skilled, trained salesperson, and everything. It was beautiful. And I mean, there was nothing that they didn't like, but they didn't know what questions to ask. They didn't know what they had to look for it, truly look for it, in order to understand better if that particular place is the right place or not, if it's the best match or not. There are a lot of technicalities behind a senior living or a senior care place. There is no person that, there is no salesperson that is going to meet with a family and upfront they're going to lay all this on a table and go through them, and simply, clearly, they would start explaining them. Uh, so many of those families, they moved their loved one into a place that they chose for them on their own, and a year or 2 years later they got a 30-day notice to move their loved one out, and they don't know why, they don't understand. The crisis mode kicks in, um, but it's because of those technicalities. And I can give examples of situations, common situations that can happen where unfortunate 30-day notices occur.
Can you like tell one situation?
I can give you many, but I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
So, for example, at the time of the move in into an assisted living, somebody is got a diagnosis of diabetes, but and how they treat the diabetes at that particular time, they just take a pill, and that could last for a long time. But if the diabetes progresses and the treatment for it, it changes from taking a pill to insulin shots, 1, 2, 3 times a day, checking the glucose 1, 2, 3 times a day or more, meaning it's a sliding scale, then that assisted living, it has to have a particular license, type of license, in order to provide that service. If the facility doesn't have that particular license to manage diabetes care on a sliding scale, then there are only two options. The family has to hire a private caregiver or a certified qualified nurse from the outside to come into the facility to provide that service, or they have at that time to move to a facility that can accommodate that. Another scenario would be if if a facility is licensed to provide one person assistance, meaning that one caregiver would be available and able to help someone, a resident, transfer out of their bed into a chair, or one person transfers, or assistance with showers or dressing and undressing, things like that, then they're licensed for one-person assistance. If the resident gets to a level where they require a higher level of care, where they require a two-person assistance, the facility has to be licensed for that. If they're not, there are two options. The individual or the family has to hire a private caregiver that they have to pay on top of what they're paying already at the facility to compensate whatever the facility is not able to provide, or at that time they have to move into a facility that is licensed and is able to provide that higher level of care. There are many other examples, but there's a lot about the licensing. It's about those technicalities behind the scenes that uh, people would families would find out about it, and they will gain that knowledge by requesting my help and working with me.